Dream Warriors, thank you for joining me. Guess what? We're at another annual holiday event because we're crazy here. We love movies. We love it all. And tonight, whenever you're listening to this, it is Thanksflicking, the Dream Warriors annual event. It's a new annual event. This is year one, day one of it. The previous episode, Dream Warriors 104, was strictly the intro to Thanksflicking. And we're celebrating one of my favorite holidays, Thanksgiving. And we're doing one Thanksgiving movie a day, 5 days leading into Thanksgiving with a potential bonus episode. I haven't decided yet, but hey, you already hear those gobble gobbles. Let's hit that music, and we're going to go into it because we're talking Home for the Holidays, one of my favorite movies. Let's go. Welcome back. Well, hey, that's a cool intro. How did you guys like those turkey noises? And if you're new here to Dream Warriors podcast, we're a little bit obsessed with everything pop culture. We're talking movies, comics, TV, streaming, wrestling, the National Football League, other known as the NFL, and even upcoming, we're going to be doing creator-focused shows. That might have a cool name. I haven't got a name for that yet. But the first episode of that, Sylvester Stallone, will be coming before Thanksgiving, between now and Thanksgiving. So we're just going to smash that in the middle of Thanksflicking. And Thanksflicking, as you already know, is our new annual Dream Warriors podcast annual event where we do one Thanksgiving movie leading up to the most delightful, the awesome, the amazing holiday of Thanksgiving. Let me just move this mic. So I'm your host. I'm Peter A. DeLuca, AKAPAD, and you can find me, AKAPAD.com. Social media links, AKAPAD13 on Instagram and Facebook, AKAPAD on the Snapchat and Twitter, and I'll just say it again, AKAPAD.com. Patreon. You can donate. You can help me out, okay? Help me fund this show because we can do amazing things with more funding. If you're listening to SoundCloud, there's a link directly to it. It says help fund this show. If not, just go to www.patreon.com/akapad.com. Help donate. You can hit the PayPal donation button on akapad.com. So there's all kinds of interesting, fun, amazing ways. There's even like an Etsy store you can just purchase creative services from me, printing, illustration. I have an entire background in design, making things look amazing, making solutions. Like, that's a part of design. It's all problem solving. I have a huge background in this. I've been doing it for almost 20 years. I know that's amazing, but almost 20 years I've been just hardcore doing logos, website design, and even business development, not financing, but fundraising. So all of this stuff, okay? I'm very deeply entwined in the Philly tech community. Not so much the geek community, but that's a little bit of Dream Warriors. I kind of wholeheartedly reject geek culture, but I do like movies, and I like talking about all of this stuff. I like the analysis. I even like how it transforms the person. I think getting obsessive about some of these things can uncover some weaknesses in your psyche, and when you know you're at that part, jump into something and rediscover it, or jump into something new, meaning that if you know everything about the X-Men, maybe you should learn about something else, like football, learn about many other things. Just join the gym. How many times can you read the Avengers? Just join the gym. You can miss the Avengers for a couple years. They're not going anywhere, but you can't defeat developing a personal progress. When you become your best test subject, there's nothing you can't do, and that's a lot of what Dream Warriors is all about. Because even for me, I spent a long time out of the geek community, out of the geek conversations, out of the obsessiveness, and I got back into it when pretty much my life evolved and stabilized, where I was living in Center City, Philadelphia, where, like I was going to the gym just about every day. I had a corporate job. I wasn't even drawing. Okay, now I draw a couple hours every single day. And and I got back into the geek community, and boy, did it change. And I saw, there was a lot of, I thought, true criticism coming from me that some of my friends, would accept. There was like these new normals, and it kind of blew my mind, and it made me a little, I would say, a little bit sad, a little bit upset, and it got me angry enough to want to fight back. And Dream Warriors podcast is a little bit of me punching back, because you stay out of things for a little bit and you come back and everything is a 5-minute movie review on YouTube. And it's like, wow, you did that movie in 5 minutes. That's fantastic. But guess what? What about the long form discussion? What about how movies change through time? What about documenting the first time you saw a movie? And this is what Dream Warriors podcast is, part audio log. It's an audio log of my life and the life of my contributors, to how this content affects us and motivates us and moves us. And sometimes it subtracts, and it can subtract in a very harmful way. And I think in one of those ways it subtracts is when we take it too seriously, when we expect too much of it, and we merely don't know what it is. And because it's undefined, we're more critical of it. But anyway, let's get into the movie. Holy crap. I said in the intro, this is one of my favorite movies. I just watched this movie. This movie completely blew me away. And to give you a little bit of the way it's in, the time that this movie came out. It's 1995. It's like in the middle, of the American independent film boom movement, okay? And we're talking very cute driven comedy like scripts, smaller budgets. Even though this movie had a budget of roughly $20 million, you got to take into consideration film processing and film alone, and the renting of the cameras was astronomical even at this time. So even to do a proper shoot, if everyone's working for scale, you are still in the tens of millions. And look, Jodie Foster directed this movie, the great Jodie Foster. Wonderful job. She brought together the elements. This movie's so good you wish that she just became a director. So this movie was packaged and designed to appeal to that rising tide, that American independent cutesy script, smaller, a focused idea. And it took some time for Hollywood to even evolve out of this, because right now Hollywood doesn't know what an independent movie is at one point. So at one time Hollywood had true independent movies, and then they had Hollywood independent movies, and and we had Miramax and Fox Searchlight, and all these big studios had these offshoots of modestly budgeted movies that had real talent behind them. And I think there's so many of these movies that are top notch that are kind of forgotten because everyone just is Pulp Fiction. They go right to Pulp Fiction, and it's no. This movie is within the same conversation as Pulp Fiction, because it's that good. Okay, I'll just say it's just that good, and it's probably maybe the best Thanksgiving movie ever made, ever conceived. And it has all of the Thanksgiving tropes that we're almost addicted to, what we expect from an audience. Okay, so what are some of these tropes? These tropes are the family dinner being a cross section of a therapy session. Okay, it's every single family member being somewhat eccentric. It's our focal character, Holly Hunter, going through a little bit of a discovery, knowing things about herself as the story unfolds. Overbearing parents, parents that are kind of out of time. So any movie that touches on Thanksgiving, touches on the actual event, reaches these tropes, but none of them are as good because the characters aren't as good as they are in Home for the Holidays. And this movie begins wonderfully. Holly Hunter essentially has the same job as Sigourney Weaver in Ghostbusters 2. And if you watch the opening credit sequence, you learn a little bit of the process of fresco painting, because they make you think she's baking, but she's cracking an eggshell and she's extracting the yolk for a painting restoration, and then she gets fired, and then her daughter Claire Danes, a super young Claire Danes, drops her off to the airport, and then she goes home, and then like we're introduced to the family one by one. This is Robert Downey Jr., okay, Steve Guttenberg, Mahoney from from Police Academy, and Bancroft from The Graduate, who is spectacular. This woman is so beautiful in this movie. You don't ever believe she can be a suburban mom. But and Dylan McRooney, what's his name? Hold up, Dylan McDermott. Dylan, I could never pronounce his name. Dylan McDermott. Okay, he's in this movie. He's looking like a stud. He's a stud muffin. But Robert Downey Jr. is on all cylinders in this movie. He's Robert Downey, like, on probably the best cocaine of his life. It's the less than zero Robert Downey Jr. personified in the movie. Like, it's almost like if Robert Downey Jr. didn't die in Less Than Zero and grew up, he would be Robert Downey Jr. in Home for the Holidays. And this movie, even at the time, progressive, makes a statement on gay marriage and gay acceptance. And it's kind of funny how, like, far even that point has gone. But this movie does it cute, and it's understated, and it's a little bit of the sign of the time, and it's done in a very intelligent way. Mark Isham knocking it out of the park with the music. Like, again, Jodie Foster. This movie kind of upset me, because if you go through Jodie Foster's directorial filmography, 1988, Tales from the Dark Side. 1991, Little Man Tate. Amazing movie. 95, Home for the Holidays. Amazing movie. 2011, The Beaver. Amazing movie. And then in 2013, 2014, 2 episodes of Orange is the New Black. 2014, Chapter 22, House of Cards. And then Money Monster, 2016, which I think that movie is a little bit of a political statement. I would like to see it, though. I kind of forgot that movie came out, but it's a little bit of a political statement. And then she did an episode of Black Mirror. Not enough. She Home for the Holidays came out in 95. Now it's 2018. I wish Jodie Foster. She definitely has an eye. She has the director's eye. She has the ear for the script and the dialogue, and she knows acting. And there's a few people who have been in the acting game and are as accomplished as Jodie Foster. It's truly amazing what she has accomplished. I wish she would direct more. I really do, because I can't tell you the last. Panic Room was the last movie Jodie Foster was even in that I thought was good. Period. It's a little bit. It's cringeworthy looking at the later years of her career, and I'm sorry, Jodie, because I am a huge fan. So, going back to this movie, I never seen it. This movie was always one of those things, like, I remember the poster, I remember the VHS cover, and it's somewhat of a it's like somewhat of a anomaly, because I started watching this movie and I'm just upset. I'm upset that I'm just discovering it now, that I'm just getting into it now. I'm truly it did unnerve me, but boy, when I sank into it, this is a character piece. It's a character dissection. It's a movie that 100% works as a stage play, and I love realizing that when I'm watching the movie, because it proves that the movie is superior because it's so simple. Getting into our writer, okay, calls W.D. Richer. Now, this dude is stacked, okay? 73 Slither, 75 Pepper. If you don't know those movies, look them up. 1978, one of the greatest remakes of all time, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. 1980, Brubaker. 81, All Night Long. Big Trouble in Little China, Needful Things, Home for the Holidays, and the wonderful 2005 Stealth starring Jamie Foxx and a banging Jessica Biel. I don't know. I don't know if we can save Stealth. I've tried watching Stealth so many times and pull something out of it. It is tough. But look, everyone, Thanksflicking day one. Let's just wrap this up and move on, okay? Go watch this movie, Home for the Holidays. It was available on Amazon Prime. That's how I called it. Few movies do so many characters and do as much that this movie does, and it pinpoints everything as soon as we get out of the gate. And guess what? You root for these people, you cheer for them, and it has wonderful Thanksgiving moments, and it's not depressing like The Big Chill is through a chunk of that movie. Because Big Chill was going to be my first day one, since The Big Chill is one of my all-time favorite movies. But no, Home for the Holidays, check it out, and hey, start looking up some Thanksgiving recipes, and let's do this holiday together. I love you all. Thank you for listening, and rock and roll.